Hey guys, welcome to a new AMA session. This one is going to be with the co-founder of Zypto. Zypto is basically a platform, an ecosystem that is making crypto as easy to use as local cryptocurrencies, which is actually what cryptocurrencies were meant to be. Although right now, the more focus is towards trading with cryptocurrencies to get returns, but the ultimate use of cryptocurrencies is to power a decentralized financial infrastructure. And that so far has not happened, although there are different initiatives that have started this movement. But so far, we have not seen a decent stride. But Zypto is a platform, an ecosystem, and they have their own application and their own token, which is in the lead with this idea, with this whole initiative. First of all, we have their application in which we have DeFi and CeFi wallets. We have thousands of crypto and local currencies. We have the option to swap cryptocurrencies. We can spend crypto using virtual debit card. We can spend crypto with physical debit card. We can also send crypto by email, SMS, and social media. And then we also have their reward system, incentive program. We have referral bonuses. We have crypto payment gateway for businesses to use to accept payments in crypto. And we also have virtual crypto cards. And like I mentioned before, we have their very own token. So we have a lot of stuff in this. And the most unique thing that I found after doing the AMA session actually is that the token itself, it acts as a different entity, as a standalone entity, and the project application and all the services and all the functionalities that they have to offer, it acts as a different entity. So this project does not rely on the token to be successful in order for this platform to be successful. It is acting on its own. Even if the token is dropped down to $1 market cap, it's not going to impact the operations. But if it's successful and more people are using it, of course, that will have a huge impact on the token. So this is a topic that we discussed in detail in the AMA session. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You can send your question in the comment section, and if there are plenty of questions, then we may plan to do another session. But yeah, for now, enjoy this one. Okay, so here we are in the AMA session. I'm joined here with Joe, who is the co-founder of Zypto. Now, you guys have heard my take on what Zypto is, but I think it would be much better coming from the person who is the co-founder of Zypto. So, first of all, thank you so much for taking your time to come in this AMS session. I'm really excited that you're here, and we're gonna have a very fruitful conversation about Zypto and a lot of other topics that I'm guessing are controversial and trending. But before we jump into the questions, first of all, I'd like you to introduce yourself, and I'll give you some whole minutes to introduce what Zypto is and how you perceive Zypto. So take it away.
Okay, so my name's Joe Parkin. I'm a co-founder of Zypto. And Zypto is a crypto payments company largely. So we're aiming to take crypto into the mainstream by putting currency back into cryptocurrency, we often say. So, crypto was created initially as an alternative for fiat, for payment. However, then the whole DeFi ecosystem, the whole DeFi sector has flourished since then, and it's used for many, many, many different kinds of things. But we think that real mainstream adoption will come first via people paying for stuff with their crypto. Paying for stuff and then sending money to one another over the blockchain. So Zypto's a kind of a crypto PayPal mixed with a crypto Revolut plus a DeFi wallet, a different take on DeFi wallets. And then a little further down the line, then we'll also incorporate some kind of centralized exchange elements into our offering. We also offer payment solutions such as prepaid cards, bill payments, gift cards, etc. And we white label these services to other people, to other companies. We have over 50 companies using our systems in one way or another in the back end with their own brand on the front. So it's a pretty complete ecosystem of products and services. And then you add to that we have we have a great relationship with the Zypto token community, with whom we work together to promote the brand, the products and services. We see this as kind of essential within the crypto space to work with the community, both our own community and the broader crypto community. We're very good at, we enjoy creating partnerships and relationships with meme coins and stable coins and L1 blockchains, L2 blockchains, and all kinds of people within the space, but also on the traditional finance space. So we kind of sit between the cryptosphere and the TradFi side of things. We approach it from the crypto side because we're crypto guys, and yeah, kind of trying to build a kind of glue it all together in a way that makes sense and makes things easy to use for the end user.
Right. The first question that I think everyone will be wondering, because it's the same question that is asked to other projects and companies that offer crypto payments and offer cryptocurrencies as a payment gateway. That is, cryptocurrencies. Everyone knows that they are volatile, and there are risks with using cryptocurrencies as a payment method for the very reason that it's volatile. So the price can fluctuate during the process of that payment. So, what strategies do you think can be implemented, and what Zypto may be implementing to ensure that both merchants and consumers, they're protected from the potential losses that will happen and may happen due to the price swings?
Well, first of all, merchants can decide which currencies they're going to accept. That's the first thing. So we actually recommend companies that are just beginning their journey to only accept stable coins at the end of the day. So I consider stable coins to be kind of like the gateway drug into crypto, right? It's nice and easy and stable. After that, there's also other things. So we can set up flows whereby the incoming crypto is converted into stablecoin, or we can off ramp directly to their bank accounts. All of this depends on where the merchant is, what kind of merchant it is, and we provide the options. Now, one of the things that happens with a lot of crypto payments companies is they say this is the way it's going to be. So, like, all merchants must off ramp directly to fiat, or you have to accept this selection of cryptocurrencies. We believe in choice. We think that it should be up to the merchant to decide. For example, there are very many companies, and more every day, who do B2B payments over the blockchain, largely in stablecoins, but also in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on. Because if they're bullish on the currency, then they might choose to accept it. And as such, they take advantage of the fact that they're getting payments coming in crypto in order to have that ready to pay suppliers, for example. And that's a use case that's going to becoming more and more common. So really the point is, what does the merchant need? We work with them, well, the merchant or the payment service provider or the payment acquirer, processor, aggregator, or whoever, and we'll work with them in order to provide the solution that they need that works best for them.
Right. So you're saying that by the use of stablecoins, first for that risk of price fluctuations, it is mitigated. And you also mentioned the method of first converting the currency into a stablecoin, then it goes through and then it's converted back to another cryptocurrency. That's I assume that the process is, which does explain how the losses can be mitigated. But will it be up to the merchants and consumers to which currency that you want to use, and what type of cryptocurrencies will they be available for them to choose, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or will there just be stablecoins?
Oh no. So if the merchant, so I, as the person that's selling something, I have to decide which things I am willing to exchange my stuff for, right?
Right.
So it's like I have a water bottle, and I'll decide what I'll accept in exchange for it. I might decide that only things that are pegged to a fiat currency, so only stablecoins, or I might decide that an equivalent value of Ethereum is fine. But this should be up to the merchant to decide what they accept, and for the customer to choose from the options available for that particular merchant what they want to use.
Right.
So
Okay.
we make it so that people choose. We've got many blockchains that we can process, lots of them. We've got, at the moment, I think there's like 100 or so cryptocurrencies that we process on the gateway. We can add more. There will be more blockchains added, and yeah, it's not for us to decide. So there are some people who say, for example, like meme coins should not be included
Yeah.
in this. That's not for us to decide. That's for the merchant. The trade is between the person selling and the person buying. What they want to use for that exchange of value is not our choice. It's not for us to judge.
Right. Okay, so I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of people who are interested in talking about the token and what it has to offer. But before that, what I find more interesting is the Zypto app because all the features that Zypto has to offer, they're included in it, all the functionalities it has in it. Can you briefly explain the Zypto app and the features, that it offers and what features are live at the moment?
Yes, it's important to say at the moment because there is a
Yeah.
lot that's coming. So right now, Zypto app is essentially an easier to use alternative to the more well-established DeFi wallets.
Right.
So MetaMask, Trust wallets, etc. What makes it easier to use is that we haven't copied anyone.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. In a way, I suppose we've been inspired by many user interfaces, but it's not just crypto wallets. If you look at most crypto wallets, they all look the same.
Yeah.
However, what we realized is that if you look at your banking app, it looks very different. Banking apps have been designed for mainstream audiences, and everyone can use them, right? You've got pensioners to teenagers who know how to use them. So what we wanted was to create something that is easy for everyone, no matter what their level is. And so we've taken with our design agency, the user interface and experience design agency we've worked with, who are absolutely fantastic. We looked at all of our favorite banking apps, all of our favorite crypto apps, both exchanges and wallets, but also things like other kinds of payment apps, of the type of like Venmo and Cash App and that kind of thing. I don't remember which ones exactly. We just looked at everything that's out there, and we've taken the elements of all of these that we think fit best and make it easier for people to do stuff without superfluous clicks and so on. Yeah, that's I can go on and on about other stuff that's in there. So that's one thing. Like another thing, we made sure that we had a cross-chain swap built in from day one, because one of the really confusing things about blockchain and crypto apps for new users and for old users alike is how do you move? You see something on Base that you want to buy, but you don't have anything on Base, and you've got to jump through all sorts of hoops to get there. Or you've got Bitcoin and you want to buy a token on Ethereum or whatever. Or you're going to pay for something and that merchant only accepts stable coins, but you don't have any stable coins at that point. Or right, we wanted to make this flow super easy. So we've integrated a cross-chain swap directly in the UI. It's the easiest cross-chain swap to use in the world, I'm pretty sure of it. If you haven't tried it, then you have to. We also added decentralized exchanges directly into the user interface. We thought this was important. We've got Uniswap and PancakeSwap for now. We're going to be adding more. There will be one for every chain we support.
Okay.
Why? Because people get scammed by going to the wrong link. It's also complicated to go to a dApp in the browser, connect your wallet, do all of this stuff. It's not user friendly. So we're building it right in there. The system knows if you're swapping from Ethereum to Ethereum, it gives you the option of this, either the decentralized exchange or the multi-chain. Does work, same chain as well. You know what I mean? So it's just made, everything is made so it's nice and easy to use. Another thing, what do they have in TradFi that we don't have in crypto? Things like air miles, reward points. People love this stuff.
Yeah.
So we built a rewards program and a referral program directly into the app. So we've got cash back. At the moment, there's only the cashback enabled for the prepaid virtual cards, but we're going to have it on swaps. We're going to have it on anything that generates any kind of any kind of value, will there will be cash back available on it, but that will also be built into the rewards program, and it also ties into the token reward system. And there's going to be quests and referrals and all sorts of fun stuff. Right? We've already got some great collaborations coming up with even directly with L1 blockchains in order for them to run promos to encourage people to use their blockchain for payments. Security, I could go on for a while about security. I should come back and speak to you another day once we've got our big thing out, I think. But for now, it's got some cool stuff. Like you can partially remove the seed phrase from your device, for example. You can remove 2 words of your seed phrase. Your wallet is offline, so nothing can happen. But you can put just those 2 words back in, and then it brings it back online. This kind of stuff, right? It's what else? Yeah, just in general, we're really trying to understand what users want, what users need, how normal people interact with devices, and make it so that so they can. We're not trying to treat them like they're stupid because they don't know how to do stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, which is what happens with a lot of crypto apps. It's like you don't know how to use it. It's because you need to go and read some tutorials. That shouldn't be necessary.
Well, are you guys doing something in order to, educate people to learn more about crypto so you can increase the adoption for your project?
Well, I come from a background in education, and part of my previous business was education, and we need to educate people. Once we've got the majority of our roadmap out, our development pipeline through, then we're going to start working very hard on providing, in-app tutorials and even video tutorials. It's not we don't have them out there yet, but in our user interface, we've got these little tutorial things like cards that you slide through, and that will be incorporated into the AI bot, which is in the app as well. We've got live chat and AI support directly in the app. I don't think there's any other DeFi app that has that, by the way. But yeah, it's really important. We're going to be working hard on it. We haven't done as much as we would like yet, but there'll be plenty. I'm going to be doing webinars and things as well.
Right. About the features in the Zypto, like for instance, if I start using Zypto app right now, what sort of features I can use? Can I pay for my bills? Will I get a physical card that I can use to withdraw or use that card for shopping or somewhere? Like, what sort of features are there that are live at the moment?
Okay, right now, you've got DeFi functionality, so DeFi wallet creation and importing, cross-chain swapping, same chain swapping. We've got the dApp browser, so you can do all of that. You've got Wallet Connect, etc. And then you can buy prepaid virtual cards. It's worth giving that a try, even just to see the payment flow. It is the best DeFi payment flow ever created, without a doubt. You say, I want to buy this, then it scans your wallet, sees which wallets have something in them that's enough to cover the accepted currencies with sufficient value to cover the purchase. So you click on that wallet, then you pick which token, and then you confirm the purchase and the blockchain transaction in one go. Right. That's not been done before.
Wow.
Right. It's amazing. And that same checkout process that's what we've got right now. And the rewards hub. So you've got the rewards hub to earn cashback, etc. And Zyptopia, which is where token holders get their daily rewards. That's there now. Very soon, we're going to be adding the bill payments, the gift cards. We're going to be adding the referral system, which is coming very soon, which is going to be amazing. That's going to be the beginning of our real scaling phase. What else? The prepaid cards, like you said, the physical card, virtual cards, all of this will be there and fundable with this amazing checkout experience.
Right. You talked about the DeFi wallets, but does Zypto also offers what?
I just remembered something very important.
Sure. Go ahead.
And then the next thing, one of the next things that's coming is the integration with the MoneyGram and Stellar.
Right.
So we just announced Well, we actually announced it to the community like 15 days ago, or no, over that. But MoneyGram and Stellar are now publicly announced it yesterday, I believe, or the day before. Um,
Right.
so it's going to be possible to off ramp your crypto
Oh,
via USDC on Stellar at almost all MoneyGram locations around the world. So you'll be able to off ramp, but also on ramp. So you'll be able to walk in with cash, turn it into crypto, or take your crypto and turn it into cash. It's yet another way to link the two.
right.
We've got two economies right now. We've got the blockchain economy and we've got the fiat economy. So this is another way to link the two together. This is phase one of our collaboration. We're working. No, we're really enjoying our relationship with both organizations. And that's going to be great. Like
Yeah.
once that comes through, you're going to see us all over the place. We're going to do a big marketing push and stuff.
Right. Now, since you have mentioned about the MoneyGram, that's one of your, I would say, collaboration and partnerships. Um, what other synergies or collaborations that you're doing that adds value to both Zypto and its partners? Like, are there any examples, other examples other than the MoneyGram that you mentioned of these
Yeah, MoneyGram
successful
and Stellar, important.
and Stellar? So, is there any other examples of such successful joint ventures or collaborations?
Yeah, so one that's public springs to mind immediately is Gate.io,
Right.
specifically GatePay, which is their payment solution. So that one's been made public, but we will be adding their payment gateway and other centralized exchange payment systems into our checkout, both in the app and in the payment gateway. So V2 payment gateway should be coming out before the end of the year. I'm not going to say anything more
Right.
than that. And that will incorporate lots of different ways for the customer to pay. Like, again, we want to make it as easy as possible. So if somebody has their funds in a Zypto DeFi wallet and they want to pay, we'll make that super easy. If somebody has their funds on Gate.io, then we'll make that super easy without them having to go in and transfer it to an address and all this kind of stuff,
Right.
So that one's coming along. Others, Change Now, we partnered with them for the cross-chain swap. On Ramper, they're an on and off ramping aggregation service. So
Right.
we added them into the app. That means that we can cover many countries very, very quickly with over 130 different payment options. So cards, bank transfer, blah 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 blah. Who else? Some sub for KYC stuff when we need to KYC people.
Right.
And other things which people are not generally excited about on the like AML
Yeah.
side and kind of infrastructure and stuff like that. There you go. And we're constantly looking at more. That I managed to not say any of the ones which are under NDA or anything, so I did a good job.
So you have other collaborations in the pipeline, that means.
Plenty.
Right. Okay, that's really great to hear. Now, you might have heard, like most of my questions that I've aligned is actually coming from when MetaMask and MasterCard, they announced this partnerships of making their
Yeah.
own cards. And people had a lot of questions about that. And that's why I'm picking most of my questions. Like people started asking, can I use my rug pull meme coins like in those cards, sort of things. But the thing is, this is you guys are doing this. This is, I would say, an initiative project that is offering to use cryptocurrencies as payment method. But there are other projects, other firms that also offers this. So in
Yeah,
terms
of
of
course.
marketing, how are you presenting yourself to distinguish yourself from those other projects?
Well, first of all, everybody else has a smaller niche. That's the first thing. So we do this and this maybe. Maybe they've got one or two things. I don't think there is any other company that covers such a broad spectrum of things, especially not a company that also offers white label services to other companies and stuff like this. So that's the first thing. It's a real complete end-to-end service. We can cover just about all of your needs, either direct or via partnerships. That's the first thing. Second, usability. The second one would be usability. We're working hard to make things as easy to use and smooth as possible. Then I would say flexibility. So flexibility and agility. We are not a DeFi wallet. That's, on Ethereum and
Yeah.
this and other EVM chains. We are a DeFi wallet that will continue to add more and more blockchains, and we're not going to be snobby about it either, because we're crypto guys. So these kind of upcoming chains, we'll be happy to add them. Now, I don't know, I've forgotten where I was going with this now, to be honest. We're building up those things, like the cards. That's another
Yeah.
thing. People think that our current card offer is what we are, but that's not the case whatsoever at all. So what Mastercard and MetaMask are piloting, and we have to remember that it's a
Yeah.
pilot. It's open to a small number of people for now. It's just one example of self-custody solutions for payment cards. There are other solutions out there. There are multiple options, and we're looking at several of them to pick which one works best for us. It won't necessarily be the same one size fits all. We have to remember this. So we may end up incorporating various different options into our app and our gateway, and offering those to our white label customers, etc. So the payments industry is less black and white than people think it is. There's more nuances, more complication. We didn't know this 2 years ago when we approached this. Now we know how it works. We see this news, we see all the hype it gets, and we roll our eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, right. They're doing that. They're doing a pilot of this thing. We could be running a pilot on those things right now. In fact, there are things that we're running pilots on. We don't even mention. You got to try stuff out. So it's great news that there is a movement towards self-custody for payment cards. That's fantastic. It's not something that only one company will dominate. It
Right.
can't be that way, and it won't be that way. We'll be a part of it. So will MetaMask. So will many other wallets, and so will centralized exchanges, etc. And that's a good thing. All adoption is good for all of us.
Yeah. So when Zypto app gets a lot of users, we have seen that other projects, even blockchains like Aptos and Sui, especially I think it was Sui, it promised high throughput, better speed, but in face of congestion, and also Solana, we know the issues that it faced with 75% of the transactions that failed. So whenever the projects are launching, most of them probably don't have anticipated what's going to happen if they receive a huge volume of users or transactions. So if that happens in Zypto app, like, how you guys prepared yourself for it?
Well, we have actually just launched a massive upgrade to our backend system, which is one of those huge technological achievements that nobody gets very excited about. We've spent for this very reason. We started with the app launch as beta, right?
Right.
The community were hugely valuable with that. We've been learning from them. We've been getting all their input, but also paying very close attention to all the logs, error messages, etc. in the backend. And we realized that we really are, before we go to hundreds of thousands or millions of users, we're going to have to beef things up. So our development team has now completed a process in order for us to have essentially infinitely scalable resource usage in the backend. So it's all, I could say it in rough tech language, but basically, the more users we get, the more server capacity the system will acquire automatically. But then it will also shrink back if we have a period of time that there's not so much usage. Then the amount of resources will be lowered, which helps to keep us cost effective and profitable. If we're not profitable, we don't continue. So it has to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the major things. And again, we're not in bed with any one blockchain, for example, or we're not married to one particular supplier or whatever. If our pricing API fails, we'll take another one.
Right.
We'll integrate another one and we'll move forward. People tend to get a bit overly attached to pieces of technology, and we're more about the end result. If you know what I mean? It has to work. So a blockchain will get bogged down because they're only using that one blockchain. But we don't have to use only one blockchain. We use all sorts of,
Yeah.
we use loads. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different kind of thing. Um, yeah, we've got a great tech team is the main thing, and they've made it infinitely scalable.
Right. You mentioned about the rewards program and incentives that I think are for the users. Um,
Yep.
do you have these sort of incentives for, let's say, small businesses that wants to adopt Zypto app, or you want them to adopt Zypto app in their for their business? So what sort of incentives do you have in place for those?
So that I can't confirm 100% right now because the V2 of the gateway is not out, and that's where this will come into play. So in the same kind of way as we're well, if it's a very small business, we're building a like a soft POS point of sale and basic payment system directly into the app. So if it's somebody at a market stand, for example, they'll be able to say, okay, that's $10, and then you'll be able to either tap the two phones together or scan a QR code. So that's like the easiest one, and that will be a user on the app, and therefore everything they do in there will be subject to cashback and rewards, etc., the same as anybody else. On the gateway, we'll be running in very broad terms. Right? So people who are they'll be able to accept zips, which are our reward points as payment, and then we'll be paying them in crypto. So we, the company, will pay them in crypto for those zips that they accept, and we'll provide incentives for them to do that. And also, companies, obviously, the best checkout experience is always going to be using Zypto app. You'll be able to use your exchange or a different DeFi wallet, but the best experience will be with us. So merchants will also obviously have their referral
Right.
bonuses. So people come in, they say, "Ah, you accept crypto now? Yeah. Ah, yeah. Have you downloaded Zypto? You
Yeah.
should really try Zypto. Scan this, and then they can get their referral bonuses on it. So there's
Right.
lots of opportunities for companies of all sizes. Also, co-promotional activities that we can do with them. That's going to be something we'll see a lot of in 2025, again, for companies of all sizes. And yeah, well, all the things that you don't get from
Yeah.
card processing.
Right. Okay. So the topic that we're gonna enter into is the Zypto token, which
Okay.
a lot of people are going to be interested in, especially for my audience, since I upload videos on
Uh-huh.
projects that are good potential buys. And I can definitely see that, seeing how well established this whole Zypto ecosystem is and all the features that it already is offering and what it's going to offer, and looking at the partnerships that you guys are doing with major corporations and firms and collaborations, I can definitely see that there will be a lot of interest from the investors' side in the Zypto token. But you obviously want to, I'm not sure what your aim is particularly for the token, but you obviously want to incentivize long-term holding and discourage the selling pressure for the Zypto. So how have you managed to create the tokenomics of Zypto in order to do this, to incentivize long-term holding instead of short-term?
First of all, I'm going to preface all of this by saying that this is somewhat outside of my scope,
Okay.
as token things are taken care of by the foundation and the community. So I'm co-founder of the company,
Okay. Okay.
and the token we collaborate with them. We've got an ongoing partnership, but a lot of this could be my opinion. So
Okay.
just to bear that in mind. So tokenomics is a complex subject. First of all, um, it's a great experiment. I personally am very much in favor of tokenomics that strengthen the LP over time. Um, by strengthening the LP through tokenomics, it will tend to stabilize the price long
Yeah.
term. Um, so you're putting more into the pot and reducing the volatility. I think that's a great way of using tokenomics. The other one, obviously, is that the foundation and the community, they need to fund their activities somehow. Um, so having funds going in from tokenomics is great, but then on the other hand, you need to avoid scaring people away, right, from coming in. So very high tokenomics. In the last bull run, people were putting super high tokenomics on things. People were buying them up, but that's kind of died off now. So the tokenomics on Zypto tokens, so far as I understand, the idea is for them to be gradually lowered as time goes by. What else was there? What else to say on this? But the thing is that that's not going to matter so much with Zypto token because of the agreement that they have with us, the company. They promote us, we donate funds to them in exchange for that promotion, and therefore they don't have only that source of revenue. This is unusual, unusual or unheard of.
Yeah.
So this is money coming in from real world economic activity. It's not a zero sum game. You know, there's actually money coming in from outside. So there's people walking into shops and buying shoes and stuff, and part of that is being fed back in. So yeah, all of this means that tokenomics are, like I said, I do agree with LP for tokenomics. Using it to fund things like listings and stuff like that can kind of come back and bite you later, you know, if the tokenomics is too high, because then you've got this volume paradox that goes on. But it's not going to matter so much for Zypto token over time, because they're transitioning towards something that doesn't depend on tokenomics whatsoever.
Right. So from what I have seen in the past, and I think if you probably will agree to this, that most projects that we have seen launching, like ecosystems offering some sort of real world utilities, they rely on their business model also relies on their own native token. So if the token is, let's say, dumped, the whole ecosystem, it is brought down just because people sold the token. But in this case, I think that the Zypto as a project offering all these services, it's acting as a standalone project, and even if something happens to the token, it's not going to impact the project. But if the project is successful, it's definitely going to benefit the token. Is that correct?
Yes. No, we're entirely separate entities.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
we the company do not depend on the token whatsoever. We're not funded by the token.
Okay.
It's an expense. It's a marketing expense.
Right.
We put money into the community, not vice versa. So
Right.
this is almost unheard of. So in the crypto space, there are many projects that have been funded by either ICO or
Yeah.
tokenomics, or selling tokens. That is not the case with us. We are a business in the blockchain space, and we work together with the token community for mutual benefit, the way things should be, I believe.
Yeah. But in this case, how does other than the community incentives,
Yeah.
is there any other way through which the Zypto token, it benefits the Zypto operations?
How does it benefit us?
Yeah. Other than the
Uh,
incentives that you're offering to the community, is there any other
it benefits
benefit?
us because every time that we post something and every time that we have a new product, then we have this whole group of people all around the world who are telling people about it. It also means that we have a massive network of contacts. So a lot of partnerships and suppliers, etc., that we have actually come via references from community members. So it means we're not isolated. We've got eyes and ears everywhere. There are
Right.
people, encouraging their siblings and their workmates to download our app, and also they use our products and services themselves. So we get a huge amount of benefit from the community. Obviously, and obviously our success is great for them also, because it's all it's all interlinked. So every part of what we do in our ecosystem is designed to benefit all the other parts.
Right. Hmm. That's pretty interesting. That definitely is something unheard of. I've never heard that such an ecosystem, and they have the native token, but it's not what it seems. Um, and that's actually pretty interesting because people are, as for especially for myself, I'm concerned that a project is very well developed. The team is doing everything they can, but because the market dropped, the native token that it dropped, and the project is now on a standstill because they don't have they don't have enough funds because their funds was in the token, in the
Um,
allocation that was there in the token. So now that that allocation has dropped in value drastically, they don't have enough to continue with the development. So this amazing initiative is brought down just because it's linked to a token which is a cryptocurrency, and since it's a cryptocurrency, is volatile.
yeah, I've seen lots of this happen as well. So we've seen it happen a lot of times, which is why we didn't want to repeat the same mistake.
uh,
And then the other side of this is that um, so the other side of this is right. The other mistake that people make is wanting to use their native token for payments. Right,
right,
so
yeah,
there'll be a payments-based project. It could be with cards or a payment gateway, something like this, and they want people to pay with their token. Now, if you think that through logically, this always results in your token being sold in order to cover the product
yeah,
that's being purchased. So let's imagine that it's for a card, right? A payment card. You take the native token, and then you have to load that onto a card that can be spent in USD or Euro or whatever. The money has to be loaded on there in fiat, which
yeah,
means there has to be off ramping at some point. The only way you can do it is by selling what was given as
given, yeah,
payment. So you shoot yourself in the foot.
yeah,
So, in fact, within the Zypto ecosystem, we're not currently accepting Zypto token as payment for anything. That's not what it's for. It's a way, it's a vehicle through which we can um, reward community members for their invaluable help. You know,
right,
it's not for paying for stuff. Stablecoins and Ethereum and Solana and so on and so forth, they're good for payments. That's what we accept.
right.
And then part of each one of those transactions, so a little sliver of each one of those transactions goes into a pot that we use to for the rewards.
Right. Okay. Is there any way that you guys use revenue to buy back the token or burn it in a sense, or is
Not
it
us
just in
directly.
the incentive
Not,
program?
okay, so not us directly, but there are funds sent to the foundation, to the token fund
Okay.
wallet, and then that for some time. The buyback and burn is currently not on, as
Okay.
they've decided they want to get more funds in there for
Okay.
either marketing or exchange listings or whatever they decide to do with it. But they can also use those funds to buy back and burn token. So not us directly.
Right.
So that we do two things. We credit zips, which are in-app points. They're like air miles
Okay.
daily to token holders. Um, on one hand, and on the other hand, we send funds to the token fund wallet for the other part of our agreement, which is, so let's say, of what we share with the community, half of it goes directly to holders via the app,
Okay.
and half of it goes to the community as a whole.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Wow, that is absolutely. I do have a lot of other questions, although we are running out
Okay.
of time. But one thing that I'm just popped into my head is when it comes to marketing, are you guys running two different types of promotions? Like you have two different funds for promotion and marketing, like Zypto
Yeah.
as the application and the operations and ecosystem. It's using a different marketing fund to market it and promote it, and
Yeah.
the token
Our
has a
money.
separate, yeah. Then the token has a separate marketing funds that they're using, but both of them
Correct.
are in a sense benefiting, the Zypto app and also the token. Like you're
Yes.
promoting it, the ecosystem, but people are in there are interested in the token and they go over there, and the
Yes.
same thing is happening, vice versa. So is that what's happening, or you have a joint
That's what
marketing funds?
that's exactly what happens. So we the company, we pay for marketing from our money.
Okay,
So
okay.
the money that we make from our business. Then the foundation, the token community, they do marketing with their money.
Their money. Okay, okay. Wow,
And
that's
then
really
we
interesting.
and then there are things where we communicate. We say, hey, what do you think about doing this? So we can work together on stuff, but we're independent in terms of what we can, and
Right,
our marketing independently. So, like for example, now we have with MoneyGram, there's an agreed budget for promotion. So they pay part of it. We the company pay part of it. Um, that's nothing to do with the token.
yeah.
that's just that's just promoting. It promotes the brand. The Zypto brand is built jointly by the token community, the foundation, and us. So building a brand is one of the biggest challenges nowadays, right? So the fact that we're doing it together is one of our major strengths. We've got individual people in the token community spending hours making their own GIFs or TikTok videos and so on and so forth, right? On
Right,
the other hand, there's us also doing on the other hand, on our side, but then it all hits the market together.
right. Okay. That's it is something I never thought of. That this was possible uh, to happen in an ecosystem. But now that I'm thinking of it, it has a lot of benefits, and so far I cannot think of a side effect that can happen, but all the benefits that comes with it. Because a lot of people think that you're only making these fake promises in the Zypto app that you're going to offer this thing and that thing just because you want the token to be pumped. But in this case, no
Makes no
one,
difference to us.
yeah, it doesn't make a
Well,
difference for
it's
you.
not true. It's not true that it doesn't make any difference to us. So morale makes a big
Yeah,
difference to
absolutely.
how
Yeah,
engaged people are.
yeah,
So in that we notice, I know, like as we're posting social media stuff from the company, I can almost tell if there's like positive price action on Zypto token because we get so much
yeah,
engagement.
absolutely.
But the opposite is also true. If there's a bit of a slump or it's going sideways, then people are a little bit kind of more standoffish. I don't want to say
Yeah,
lazy. They get that disheartened. They're
yeah,
not so engaged as they would be otherwise. So it does affect us in a way. But this is um, on average, it's nothing but good.
right. Where's the Zipto token on? Like, which blockchain is it on?
Ethereum,
Okay. As for now, or that's where it's gonna stay?
it's on Ethereum and will stay on Ethereum until at some point in the future. Um, then potentially it would be a how would you call that, a kind of placeholder for when years down the line we actually build
Oh,
our blockchain.
your own blockchain.
So
Wow.
now the concept is we will do so only when we fully understand what the needs are of the real world for to make a payment system that can work properly on it more in a more decentralized fashion. Payments is more complicated than I send some money to you. Uh, there's a lot more that has to happen. There's orchestration. There's companies that provide infrastructure for it and so on, or like terminals for stores and agents that go out and sell those terminals. And there's fees and there's um, bonuses and there's these things. They all of this has to be built in into a blockchain. That's why companies such as ours for the payment gateway side exist. And we also have to think about interoperability, how it links in with other stuff. There's stuff to be taken
Yeah,
into account, such as regulation with what has to be KYC, what doesn't, who has access to what. It's a big thing, and we believe that something needs to be built that has the capacity to do all of that in a more decentralized fashion or a completely decentralized fashion. But it's more complex than people think. For it to really work in the real world for large scale, if we're going to replace all these Swifts and Visas and Mastercards, etc., long term, we'll need a different kind of blockchain. I'm sure there'll be a gazillion comments about how ours can do that, because everybody thinks they have the solution.
Yeah.
But that's the concept, yes.
Okay, so I think we have covered a lot of the information, and I'm not sure that we're gonna do another AMA. Although it is a possibility if there's a lot of other questions. I have talked to some of the person in your team that we may be able to do another AMA if there's a lot of questions, more questions that needs to be answered. But as for now, we have discussed a lot of things. Just one thing, like what your future, although you have told most of these things, all the functionalities and features are coming, but what kind of future do you see with Zypto, and what you want to achieve with it?
So we think you're going to see Zypto popping up all over the place over the coming couple of years, until the point that we're so ubiquitous that you kind of forget you see us in the same way. Zypto accepted here. You go to checkout on your favorite e-commerce store, pay through Zypto. Then somebody says, "Hey, you owe me $10. Do you have Zypto?" Yeah. This is going to be where we are in a few years. But you can't get to any of these things in one go. We have to go step by step. So anybody listening to this now, anybody watching, you're seeing the birth of Zypto. And there's a lot more to come. We've got some great partnerships coming up. MoneyGram and Stella are fantastic, and Gate.io and all of these others. But they're going to be joined by some very prestigious co-partners in the near future. And the ecosystem is just going to keep on growing. We're going to keep adapting to what's needed. And as blockchain technology evolves, we're going to be on the front line, adding in all the juicy stuff from these new inventions. So yeah, there's a lot to come. It's gonna be good fun.
Okay. It was really nice talking to you, and learning about Zypto and this whole new mechanism where the token is acting as a different entity in this one. I think that's the most unique thing I've heard, and one of the most brilliant things that I've heard. But yeah, that's some of the questions that we answered. I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of other unanswered questions. So if you have these sort of questions that you want to ask, make sure that you leave them in the comment section, and if there's enough comments in the comment section about Zypto, then we may do another AMA. But yeah, for now, I think this is good for today. And again, thank you so much for joining in and taking your time out to discussing these things. And with this out of the way, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, another session. So take care.